Hi, today I'm going to talk about something that's very dear to me. I'm an excellent cook, but I cook differently than everybody I've ever met or seen. Um, I'm severely obsessive compulsive. I don't touch my food with my hands. I don't wear gloves either. Just about all the cooking I do is with a fork. There's a lot of foods I will not eat because they're just nasty. But when I do cook, um, I like to I like mass over flavor, and I like clean over everything, because I enjoy the physical sensation of eating. I have no sense of smell, so what I taste is usually different, if not like slightly, than more so than what everybody else tastes. Um, when I cook a turkey, it usually only takes me 3 hours because I don't rebathe the turkey in the juices. I empty all those juices out because that's a lot of fat, and that's a lot of lipids and everything. That's a lot of like bacteria that's in there, while it's alive, and by cooking it out, a lot of that gets flushed out. So, that makes me very, very happy. I'm also very thorough about cooking all the fat and grease out of my food. And over the last few weeks, I've been eating more ground beef. And the reason for this is because I want more upper body strength, which I don't have a lot of. I want my cells to, regenerate better, and you have to have protein for that. Most of my diets consist of, carbohydrates or, potato chips. So I wanted to show you today what happens if you don't drain out all that grease and fat from your meats or your other foods or whatnot. So after 15 pounds of ground beef that was 27% fat and the rest lean, this is almost 15 pounds. This is almost 15 pounds worth that I've compressed out. That I put the meat in the pot, and then I'll let it cook, and all the fat and all the stuff will start to, boil and stuff while the rest of the meat's cooking, and I drain it, and then I put it back on the stove, and I keep pressing it, and then I drain it some more, and I'll keep doing that, whether it's a turkey or ground beef or chicken, any of the meats that I cook, I try to cook, all the juice out of it, all the fat, all the grease, everything. And with the exception of one-time cooking, I dumped the fat and the grease, all that stuff from the ground beef, into my sink, which then clogged my sink. So I started, re-putting it back into, something else. And what I started putting it into was the lid to my pot. And this is what I have left out over almost 15 pounds. You see this? This is the pot lid, and this is the grease. That's all the fat and stuff that could have gone into my arteries and everything else. And if you notice, that's quite thick. This is not leaking. This is not falling. This is not sliding. Okay, so for like one little crumb fell onto my hand. But this is solid. Look at that. That's filled to the rim. Right here, on top of this, there's grease over the rim, although there is, some gap here. But this is almost solid fat. With the exception of some meat chunks actually did fall in. Because instead of, I was using my fork to drain instead of the lid, because the lid was being, having the stuff drain in too. Look at that. That's all. Look at this. This could be in my body right now. Do you have any idea how disgusting that this is to be in one's body? I mean, if I was dying of hunger, I might still go, no. That's not good. That's pretty filthy. That's nasty. And that is so clogging. Can you imagine that in your heart? No wonder people need triple bypasses. This is crazy. And that's only from 30% meat. I don't think people realize the stuff that they put in their body is really going to affect them. Now, I'm a comfort eater, because I do have, some emotional issues, some things that I have yet to get over or deal with or whatnot. So to deal with a lot of anger that I have towards society and other people and things that have happened to me, a lot of the times I will overeat, which is the number one reason for people overeating. Eating when they're not hungry, eating for, whenever. Especially when I hear cases like, Trayvon, who's considered a gang member because he wore a hoodie and he was armed with an iced tea, and some self-appointed jackass decided, hey, he's a threat to society, I should kill him. When I hear this shit, when I hear this really racist shit, and I find out that the cops don't arrest this obvious murderer, okay, a guy who admitted shooting, and the only reason the cops haven't arrested him is because he has connections, and these cops are told not to arrest him. So it's like, well, shit. And a lot of them, they want to. They're not racist cops. But when I hear stories like this kind of shit infuriates me. This shit goes on. The other video I made where Arizona is trying to pass a law that a woman is, it's considered a living being when a woman stops having her menstrual cycle, that shit infuriates me. The fact that someone actually is trying to pass this into law is a fucking joke. There's a lot of these stories like this that just fucking infuriate me. A lot of these stories about, like, cops murdering people, they're abusing their powers, beating the shit out of someone because they think they're out of $20. It's like, you gotta be shitting me. This is ridiculous. And yeah, stuff like that angers me when I hear this outrageously stupid stuff, so I overeat. But think about how much crap this is. That most people don't even drain this meat out. Don't even drain it out, just eat all of it. And it's like, wow, I mean, my hands are greasy just from touching this. So now I'm going to give you a total visual demonstration of how much this actually is. Okay, hold on a minute. I'll pick that up later. This box, okay? You see how big this is. I'm going to put a little lining in here so it doesn't go all the way through. And now, this is going to be dumped, not with my hands, into here. Alright, so we have this, and a used potato chip bag, empty potato chip bag. Look at that. That's a lot of fat. That's a lot of stuff you don't want in your body. Wow. Look at that. That's just almost all fat. That's just crazy. That's batshit crazy. This is not a small pan lid. Look at that. That's crazy. My hand. From finger to halfway up my arm. Just about anyway. That's crazy. Alright, now think about it. All that could have gone into my stomach and gone through my heart, my liver, and all that stuff. That's just not good. Drain your meats.